Hello and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4, now of the Training Log Podcast. I'm Lucas Berg along with my co-host Noah Pickard. Noah, say hello.
What's up?
We are joined today by the one, the only, our glorious teammate, Mr. Gabe Burns. Gabe, how are you doing?
Doing great, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely no problem. We've been meaning to do this episode for a while. We want to talk about and discuss with you a little bit about your running history. Do you want to tell us why we want to talk about your running history?
Yep. So I am a 21-year-old distance runner here, well, at Oneonta. But I only just had my first year at Oneonta as a junior. I did my first 2 years at the junior college level D3 at a community college on Long Island called Suffolk Community. So I just did that for my first 2 years of college, got the JUCO D3 experience, and I didn't do an NCAA right out of high school. So yeah.
Nice. So we can talk about the past a lot later, but I want to talk about the present now. How is running going? 6 weeks into this summer running thing. It's hot out there. How are you finding yourself?
I'm having fun. I'm really excited. I feel like this summer compared to past summers have been really consistent. It's been really awesome to come to Oneonta and have a coach that's very supportive and is really like thorough on what they give you in the summer. So like last summer, it was my first summer really training throughout the summer, and I felt like I got inconsistent. I was a little banged up because I'd never been that consistent. Whereas like this summer, I had that first summer under my belt, and now I'm getting to really experience like the fruit of like running more throughout the summer, and I'm just really having a blast doing it. So, I mean, it's going great. Hit 59 this week, and we're just going to work our way up till we get to 70.
Can I ask you a little bit about running in Long Island or on Long Island? Sorry.
Yes.
Because it kind of seems like looking at your Strava, you have like one route. Do you have other options to run, or do you purposely choose to run that same one every time?
So there's a few in my town. Long Island is very population dense, as people know, and there's a lot of cars, and it's not always super safe to run on the roads. I don't have an issue with that, but like me, I'll run at Indian Island, which is over by me, and that's a little 5K course for my high school. I'll run that over and over, but I haven't this summer because they've been working on it. Um, and then I have my like bread and butter one, which is called the Veterans Memorial Trail, Vietnam Veterans Memorial Trail, and it's on the property of the old Grumman airfield, and that's a 9.3 mile loop. Or if you cut it through the airfield, it's a 5 mile loop, and that's like a super safe paved trail for like bicyclists and like people that want to walk or run. So I do that a lot because it's just a safe space and very relaxing.
Nice. And do you have like a view of the water there? Or are you still
No,
too far inland?
so I mean, I live in what's called Riverhead, so we have water on both sides of us. We have the Sound, Long Island Sound between Connecticut and us, and then we also have where we can see the South Fork. So I'll do a run called Penny's Road, which is literally like right there along like the north of the island. And you can see the water from there. So I did that a few times this summer. But yeah, I mean, I could also just like run on the beach if I wanted to, but I haven't really done that a lot this summer.
Yeah, so the summer's going well. So has there anything that you've changed this summer compared to previous summers for you to get off to a good start?
Absolutely. I would say just doing the little things, staying consistent, doing what I need to, whether it's doing core every day or foam rolling more and doing more mobility and stretching. Like I'm literally standing there at work, like doing calf stretches just because like I'm like, I need to make sure I'm staying loose. That was a big thing. I felt like over the summers is I was running paces too hard and then I wasn't doing enough mobility and it was just tearing me up. So this summer I've been a lot better about having some more easy days in there and just doing more mobility and foam rolling. I found it's made a world of difference.
I think it really does make the biggest difference. I think you can take any runner who is doing their normal training plan and then but not doing mobility, foam rolling, anything like that, then throw in a lifting program, mobility, the little things. I think it's almost half of it, honestly. I think it really does almost make up half of it. Would
Yeah, I
you
mean it
agree?
adds up. It adds up. I definitely noticed it this summer. I've actually started doing core. I was like, this is my biggest weakness. I actually have to start hitting it. Not a huge core routine. It's like 5 minutes, but I do it every day pretty much. But I just noticed just like I'm getting stronger. Like running's becoming easier just because I'm more efficient in the way I use my energy. Gabe, what about you? Drop the core routine. I'm curious
Yeah.
about this.
So honestly, I've been just following the ones Kelly has. So I used to do a lot, like when I was in junior college level, I would just have my own little one where it was like planks, flutter kicks, like penguins or heel touches, whatever you want to call them. Just like a bunch of your really basic ones, and I would do it 2 times through. And I would do it either 30 reps or like a minute. Um, for Kelly's, I've been just doing it super traditional, like she has them, where it's 30 seconds on and then either 15 seconds off, 30 seconds off. But I'll go through a whole one of those routines a day. I've been just doing one of those every day. So I'll look at the week and I'll see, okay, we have 2 Wednesdays. So that means Tuesday I'll do one, like Thursday I'll do three, and like I'll just go through and I'm just making sure I do at least one a day. And then if there's a day where I'm feeling like I want to do something on my own, then I'll go back to like what I've done in the past.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Ethan Gregg, maybe like 6 months ago, 5 months ago. And one of the questions they asked him was, what changed from high school to college? Like, how'd you get this good? Because he wasn't a crazy high school runner. And he just said, like, besides the training getting better, it was just the little things. It was just rolling out GS, mobility, lifting, taking that seriously and knowing why I was doing it. And I feel like that's such a big inspiration to me because that's kind of the path I want to follow is his. But it's also like, you know, I feel like a lot of people when they're first getting into running, it's like, okay, as long as I do the mileage, that's it. But maybe on like 20 miles a week. But like once you get up to those big numbers, 60, 70, your body can't sustain that without also the recovery and getting stronger and all that, right? Like it'd be very difficult. So I think it's such an important thing that beginners really tend to overlook, if you would agree with that.
Yeah, I absolutely would. I feel like for me, like when I was pushing that higher mileage last summer, I was just feeling so burnt out. I wasn't doing enough to help myself out. And if you look at like some of the best people in our conference, some of our fellow colleagues we raced against, like they're doing that kind of stuff. They're really emphasizing the mobility and the foam rolling. You see it like on Strava, them like literally sitting there with their breakfast in a foam roller. Like it's just super important that we're emphasizing that and making sure like we're not injury ridden before we ever step foot on a starting line in September. So
Yeah, so me and Lucas were talking before this, and we're like, this is the highest mileage week we've ever hit. I believe 58, right, Lucas?
Yeah, it's 58. I mean, depending on decimals, doesn't matter. 58.
Yeah, so, but our legs are like still good. Granted, no really super hard workouts, but running's feeling easy. Like I was telling Lucas, like feeling like a fish, because we all know fish don't breathe, right? And I'm
As
not
we all know.
breathing during runs. Um, how are your legs holding up? How's the aerobic system feeling?
for me, honestly, aerobically, I feel the best I've ever felt. One thing I worked on this summer is trying to eat better. Just not necessarily eating less, but just what I'm eating, like not having it be like really just unhealthy. I've been trying to make sure like I'm mixing in more fruit and I'm getting sure I'm getting more like carbs and protein and like just really trying to be conscious about that kind of stuff. And I found it's made a world of difference for me. In the aerobic side, I feel like it's just making me feel a lot more energized on my runs. Um, and then just balancing it also of making sure I'm getting enough recovery for my legs, making sure I'm still getting enough protein and carbs so that on these runs I'm recovered, I'm feeling fresh. So I've been working on that balance, but aerobically I feel the best I've ever been. And even my legs feel pretty good. I haven't had anything where I was like aching or nervous about it getting worse. So
That's great to hear in week 5, to at least at the end of week 5. Because honestly, like you were saying, Noah, I would hope that we feel good on 58 because you kind of have to feel good on 58 if you're going to do 70. Like if you're redlining 58, then 70 might not be the right thing for you. So I'm glad to hear that for all of us. We're gonna have a great team, guys. But without further ado, Mr. Burns, or should I say Mr. JUCO, let's talk all about this experience you went through. The first question I want to ask is the decision to go JUCO out of high school. What were you running in high school? Coaches talking, everything like that. Why'd you do it?
it was not my first plan. So for me, I was a junior in 2020 when COVID hit. I was all right. I was a decent runner. I was like a 4:45 mile, like 2:05.8, like just a super, decent runner, 18:18 5K on like Sunken, which is like a hard course. And then COVID hit, and I was talking at the time to some like D3s, even some D2s, getting offers, and right before COVID got bad, I had a D1 JUCO actually talking to me, and that was really exciting. I was doing Zoom calls with him, and COVID did its thing, and they returned from sports, and my high school failed their school budget. So I missed out on my senior cross country and my senior winter track, and we weren't going to have a senior spring track. And then they did like a last minute budget right before spring season. So then I trained really hard. And then my senior spring, I ran 4:33 in the 16. And for me, I was kind of sitting there and I'm like, I don't really know what to do. Like, COVID had really messed up a lot. For me, going away seemed really stressful. It seemed expensive. I had been really close to my family. Like, COVID was hard on my family. And for me, going away from the people I cared about was really going to be tough. So I wanted to stay home. And for me, that answer was doing community college and going to school, just getting some of my base classes done, doing it a cheaper way. And it lucked out that my community college had a cross country and a track team. So I reached out to, I just, like we did for here at Oneonta, we just ended up emailing the coach, filling out some questionnaires, and he got right back to me.
Yeah, so take us through some of your experiences there. I know you're telling us that you've been to quite some big JUCO meets. Take us through a couple of those. Take us through like your first year, first impressions of that, because I really don't know much of how JUCO really all works. So take us through your first impressions and experiences of that.
And that's why you're here to explain it, how it works.
Yeah, of course. So to me, JUCO is kind of like high school plus, if I'm being honest, at least at the D3 level. It's so JUCO is only freshmen and sophomores. I mean, they could be any age, but eligibility wise, it's your freshman and sophomore year. And for us at Suffolk, we we again a lot of times just had kids right out of high school. So cross country, our cross country team my freshman year was 3 guys, just because that's how it worked out. So we raced throughout our season, and JUCO we really just tag along to like a lot of D3 D2 meets. So like the tough part with junior college is the standards of a lot of the runners aren't great. So to get into those meets, like for us, even at Oneonta, there's times where it's hard to get into some of these bigger meets. So being at junior college, it's even tougher. So there's plenty of meets where we get denied. So, but we would try to tag along to like a lot of D3 and D2 meets. So like when I was there, we would tag on and go to like Bard. We would go to like St. Joe's for like cross country. So my freshman year, we just did that. I raced probably like 4 or 5 times, like with one short course before championship season. They do a regional championship for junior college, and regions are only like 10 schools, if that. But so we did that. I won the region championship for cross country my freshman year. I was our team captain at Suffolk because we're 3 guys. And then I was able to qualify for nationals. And so for Suffolk, you at least, and there's different standards, like there's time standards, but you also have to be at a school where they can afford to do that. Send you, especially, so like my freshman year nationals was in Alabama, or no, it was Georgia. And so they have to be able to afford to fly you down to Georgia. So for how they would do it is either the team had to win the title and they'd send you, or you had to have like a certain standard time. And I think ours was 20:30 as an individual, and I had ran 28:27. So they sent me, and also because I won our region championship, so I did nationals as a freshman at JUCO. And again, not super competitive, but like it's still a cool experience. You can say I went to nationals. Like it was really awesome. And then when I was looking towards track season, I learned that my community college doesn't do winter track. So some do, some don't. At the junior college level, it's interesting. So for cross country, there's this differentiation from D3 JUCO and D1 JUCO. Winter track, JUCO is just JUCO. So D1s are racing D3s and D3s are racing D1s. There's no separation for winter track. And when you get back out to spring, there is a differentiation again, which is really, I found really interesting and crazy to look at. So then freshman spring, I had a really rough spring, didn't race great. Again, tag along to some big meets. Like we'd go to like Widener down in PA, which is an awesome meet. We'd bounce around and do that kind of stuff. And then I had a rough sophomore cross country. I just didn't, one thing I will complain about JUCO is I felt like it didn't feel like college in some ways. Again, like I felt like it was high school plus. My mileage never went past really 40. It felt like I was just doing speed work a lot, like a high school program would do. I felt like that really hurt me on the cross country side. So I had a really rough sophomore year across. And then my spring, sophomore year went great. I raced this kid, Brad Aarons, for in the 15. I was seeded number 2 going into nationals for the 1500. I had ran 404, and he was a 356, and he ended up beating me at nationals. But he just committed to like Eastern Illinois. So for me, junior college was like a gateway of like I knew our coach had produced guys that have gone to LIU, D1 school, not a big D1, but a D1 school. And like that was my goal when I got to junior college. I was like, I'm gonna transfer out to a D1. That didn't happen. It was just not really what worked out for me. Not really what I was into. So I had the opportunity if I really wanted to. I had offers to D2s, but and I mean we've had plenty of guys from my community college go D1, go to LIU especially. Like that's a big one. But for me, it just worked out that I decided I wanted to continue the D3 level, focus on school, stay in state, and that's how I ended up at Oneonta.
Yeah, and then your brother went there too, so that helped a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dragged him along, but yeah, it was a cool experience to have him there.
Yeah, and then now at Oneonta, how are you finding, the slight increase in competition now? And still going to like big meets and traveling. Like you went to Myrtle, Boston, going to these regional, meets and conference meets and stuff. How have you adjusted to the competition?
It's a very different feeling. It's exciting, but it's different. For me, like, not that I had hit my limit, but I felt like D3 JUCO wasn't competitive enough. Like you hear about like D1 JUCO, like there's plenty of times where like great athletes have gone on to play college ball at like a big D1 and like gone on to play in the pros. D3 JUCO, it's not very competitive, if I'm being honest. And for me, I felt like I had kind of hit like my max there. So going to Oneonta was a really exciting new experience, but it was also nerve wracking. Um, Being away from home for the first time was a lot, and then also doing like all the stuff just to transfer. Like even though because I got my degree at community college, it allowed the transferring process to be easier, but still paperwork to do, like a lot of stuff to allow that to happen. But that next level was crazy. Like I remember going to SUNYACs and like looking at the conference meet, and like the top times are like times that I was seeing at nationals in junior college, and that's for a conference in a D3. So, and I get like junior college, it is freshmen and sophomores, like it's your younger guys, like they haven't really hit their peak, but like it's just still crazy the level of competition difference. And I have a great appreciation for like I wish deep down I did Oneonta or some 4 year right out of high school, just because I feel like I could have been better. But with that same breath, I wouldn't change my experience. Being able to do the nationals at the JUCO level and like the meets and like see all levels of like people, like that is one thing I think is cool about JUCO is yes, there's kids that are not as great at running or like wouldn't have ever made like one of our schools in the SUNYAC, but they get to continue the opportunity and their aspirations of running. And I think that's a really cool thing. And it allows people that maybe are undecided about what they want to do in life with their base classes, like take your base classes, stay home, and like still have the opportunity to continue to compete and like live on your high school dream beyond that.
Yeah, even if you're not the most naturally talented person in the world, just having the opportunity to compete, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. So I would like to ask you now about, do you get a sense of pride coming from where you were, especially now as you get faster and faster and as you do faster stuff in your career, in the future? Do you think, you mentioned how it wasn't that competitive. Can you look back and how uncompetitive it was and say, wow, I was so uncompetitive then, and now look at me, with the big dogs up here in D3, or maybe even faster if you keep going with, I don't know, your plans, but
Yeah, I think it's definitely a chip on my shoulder. Because like I was a 404.15 guy there in junior college, and like that's pretty respectable time, but it was like a cool experience. But I came with a chip on my shoulder when I came to Oneonta of like I'm just some kid from a junior college school. Like I came from community college. I'm the new kid on the block. Like no one knows me, but yet I'm the same age as some of the juniors on the team or seniors. So I came in with just like an extra chip on my shoulder and motivation to be the best I could be. And I think I get really excited seeing how far I've come. Like last year, cross country was the coolest thing in the world for me. I was a 28, 27 kid, 8K in junior college. And like the winning time at nationals was like high, like mid to high 26s. And like last year, I ended up running at Oneonta 25, like 16. And like that's just insane to see like that progression and that improvement. And like I give that all to the coaches here at Oneonta, Coach Kelly and Coach Wilbur. Like I would have never had that opportunity to run those times without them. And their coaching. So that really means a lot. Just to be given that opportunity, that kind of coaching. Like there's something to be said about even being D3, like how much help you can get and like how much better you can get. Like just because we're D3 does not mean that we can't throw down. And like that's something I really appreciate about like the program we have and what we're building here.
Yeah, and then talk a little bit about, again, your transition. Like, how comfortable was that for you? Like, whole new environment. You're now, at a bigger school. How did the guys treat you coming in? And how was that adjustment initially?
I think it was a cool, unique experience. Is the best way I'll put it. All the guys were awesome. That's no doubt. All the guys on the team, whether it was the younger guys, the older guys that were there, like everybody welcomed me with open arms, and that was great. I felt like coming in, I was trying to make friends over the summer, and a lot of the guys understood like the difference between high school and like the fact that I did junior colleges. They saw that I had a body of work. They're like, okay, this kid's been doing the college thing for 2 years. He's got a body of work we can look at and see what he's bringing to our team. And that was a conversation with some of the older guys on the team when I was coming in. Like, you could be a huge help. Like, and that was the big thing for me is wherever I went, I wanted to add to the team. I really wanted to contribute. I didn't want to go to a D1, like a lower D1, just to be say I went D1. I'd rather go to a D3 and be the big fish in the little pond per se. So for me, that was really a huge thing, was just going somewhere where I made a difference. And so coming in, I was nervous but excited, like really excited. See what I could do for us. And I got welcomed with open arms. It was scary because, again, being away from home for the first time in this new environment, the mileage was like the biggest shock for me. Like that was hard. Like there was days, especially early on, where I'm like, this is tough. Like I've never done this before. Like I'll never forget the night of the time trial, the first time trial back. And like we're running like a 2 mile warm up and like this prog and everything. And like, yeah, I'd been doing it in the summertime, but when you're doing it with the guys and like it's just a whole new feeling. I was like, wow, this is like daunting. Like I'm exhausted and I haven't even ran like what I need to yet. But I felt very welcomed. And it was a great opportunity given to me by everybody. I felt like it was a little bit hard to fit in, if I'm being honest. Being a transfer is never fun, if I'm being honest. Like for me, like we also didn't have many juniors on the team, which didn't help. But a lot of these guys had been friends for years, especially like the seniors, like they've been together for 3, 4 years already. So for me to come in as a 20-year-old, like it's tough because they're like, they have their routines and their friendships established already, and like they have everything a certain way. So for me, it was coming in, trying to see how I fit into that, get invited to things, be able to do things with them, like find my way into those groups and those like have the ability to go out and do stuff. So I think it was just tough being away from home and trying to find my place. But once I was able to, it was really amazing.
So, whoa. So, so 1 year of D3 down. This next year, with what you've learned already, what are the goals? What are the aspirations for this year in cross and track? Or maybe in life?
I'm just gonna be talking big. I found that anytime I've had a uncertain or like a last season, I've always performed my best. So like high school, wasn't sure if I was gonna run beyond it at first. So for me, it was this is the pressure. This could be it. Like you feel like yourself riding off into the sunset. So for me, it was like this is the pressure I need to perform. Same thing with junior college. Like me coming to Oneonta or going away for school wasn't a guarantee. Like I could have stayed home and just gone to school and not run anymore. So there was pressure there. And I'm at that point. I'm going to be a senior. and there's that pressure of I need to perform. So the goal is to have the best season of my life, best season of my career. Cross country wise, I want to run mid 24:30s. That's the goal. I want to be ambitious and say that I'm going to be SUNYAC champion in cross country. If not, I at least want to be in our top three for the conference. I want to be all region come regionals, and I want to go to nationals and make noise. Like my big thing is I don't want to go to nationals and just be there. So I'm going to go to nationals. I'm going to make some noise, hopefully run really well, put myself in the race, winter track again, SUNYAC champions, and whatever events I decide to orient myself towards. Run well at AARTFC, and same thing for spring. And when it comes to the national level, you'll never know what happens. So I think this year I'm really excited to see how the new and improved SUNYAC looks, especially when we get to championship season. So I'm just excited about those opportunities and seeing what I can do for the team and for myself.
I'm so stoked for SUNYX next year. It's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be crazy, man.
So fun. But speaking of SUNYAC champion, you're a SUNYAC champion. DMR anchored that thing. How how was that feeling? Like that must have felt amazing. Anchoring it, crossing the line, everyone surrounding you.
That is one of the coolest experiences I ever got to have in running. And I'll say that to this day. I'm not gonna lie, probably like once a week I go back and watch the video that Christian Noah took of me crossing the line. Just everybody swarming me and like talking to me. That was beyond scary, but exciting. It was a lot of pressure. I thought I was gonna run a 1200 leg, and I ended up being our anchor. I went out way too hot because I was just so nervous. I was just like, I just got to go, and I went out too hot, but it worked out. I just remember like seeing Chris and him just screaming, and like it was just so loud in the circ at Brockport, like so loud. And I just remember I'm hurting because I went out way too hot, and I'm hearing from everybody, he's catching you. And like in reality, me and him ran a second difference in our splits for the race, but it was just like they're like he's catching you, and like it was just to cross, get it done for the team, and knowing how much it meant to everybody, and just the energy. Like there's very few races I felt as dead as I did that day, but it was also the greatest feeling in the world, and it will forever be one of the greatest memories I have in running, just because the guys I did it with, what it meant to everybody, and just also doing it with the girls team was really cool.
Yeah, how big is it in cross and track? Obviously more so in cross to actually have a team to be running for, something greater than yourself, because it's something uh I didn't have in high school. I know Noah luckily did get to have that in high school. But it seems like you didn't in community college. So just how big is that?
It's awesome. It's an incredible like feeling. High school, I didn't get to appreciate it a lot. I didn't do cross country my freshman year. I didn't start cross country till I was a sophomore. I only started running spring track in my freshman year. So running was a new thing for me. Like I said, I didn't have cross country my senior year. So I only had two cross country seasons before I got to college, and it was my sophomore and junior year. And while we had full teams, our teams were never really competitive in our league. And then community college, again, we had 3 and 5 guys my 2 years there. So like we didn't really have a squad. So like to be able to toe the line, for example, like last year at SUNYX with 14 of our best homies, like it's an awesome feeling, and it's totally different racing for something bigger than yourself. There's more pressure to it, but there's also a greater appreciation to it. And that idea of every spot matters means that much more during a cross country race, in my opinion. Where like track, like yeah, you lose a spot, like it stinks, and you don't want to lose a spot. But like cross country, like you're like I'm letting someone else down. Like I need to be the best me I can be for the guys around me, because I know if I'm gonna ask them to give everything they have and fight for every spot, I need to be doing the same. So I really just like can't even put into words how much I appreciated last year, and I'm excited to get to experience it one more time this year.
Yeah, speaking of like team motivation, um, I'm curious about some of your motivations for why you run in general. And like when the team's not around you, like for example, today we all ran 12 miles, hot, humid, sticky. Like what are some like maybe if you're suffering, like what are some of the thoughts going through your head? Like what's motivating you during these runs?
Absolutely. For me, I feel like it's part of it's that chip on my shoulder that I feel like I missed out on the first 2 years of my college a little bit doing JUCO. I feel like I have something to prove. Like I've always felt like that. I felt like I've not fallen behind, but I could have been better. So for me, it's let's make the most of this. Like this is my last chance. This is my last ride. Let's get out the door and get running. And like when I'm in the middle of a run, it's getting hard. Like I'm thinking about like my season goals and what I want. Like I want to think about like how I'd feel if I get to Suniacs or any of these big meets and I don't run how I want to, or even the time trial in August and like I blow up and don't run what I need to. Like I put the pressure on myself just thinking about like how are you going to feel if you don't do what you need to? And even like days where you want to skip core, it's like if I skip core and I miss out on something by a tenth, like I guess maybe because I skipped the score. Like, and it's just to me, it's just reminding myself every day, like you're doing this because you want to prove to yourself and to others what you're capable of, and you're also doing it for the guys you're racing with. I really want us to be successful this fall, like as a team, and I believe we can be. But if I'm going to ask you guys to be doing all the craziness I'm going to be trying to do all summer, I better be holding up my end of the bargain. And it's because I have the trust in you guys that you're doing the same. So
You brought up a really good point there about the doing core every day, not specifically about that, but about routine. A lot of people talk about how, oh, if you do something every day, if you run every day, it's not going to make a difference if you don't do it one of these days. Yeah, maybe in the long term, sure, but and maybe physically, yeah, but mentally, I think it's so important to hold yourself accountable and responsible to doing the little things every single day. Because if you don't do something on one day, that's another excuse to not do it 2 days from now. And then you don't do it 2 days from now. Then you don't do it the day after. Then you lose that habit completely.
it's funny you say that because literally, I think it was earlier this week, I was listening to the Jared Smith episode and you guys talked about that at the end of it of how like you can have like your cheat meal. But the problem is when your cheat meal becomes more than like once a week and you're doing it, it's the consistency thing. It's like if you run every day versus you run once like one time a week, like consistency is the key and just staying on top of your stuff and not letting yourself get inconsistent. Like that's something I put on all my Strava posts this summer is just staying consistent because that's
Yeah,
what you got to do.
it's just so mental. I think it's just so mental keeping yourself in check with those things.
Consistency helps so much too of just like getting better, right? Like that's the whole name of the game, being consistent. And I've been really trying to focus on the summer is that consistency piece, but also just looking one day at a time. At least for me, that helps astronomically. Like I'm getting to a point where like I don't even know what I'm doing the next day because like I don't care. Like I'm just looking day by day, seeing what I'm doing. Um, and for me this summer, like that's kept me so present. I'm like, okay, today 12 miles, today core, strides, whatever I need to do, just do it. And then I'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. But I can't worry about tomorrow until I recover from what I've done today. Jared Smith said, you're only as good as how much you recover from. So, like, that's what I'm trying to do, right?
Yeah, the stimulus. You got to recover from that stimulus, man.
Yeah.
Most important thing.
Is it
And
just me or do you guys ever like feel guilty? Like if you like miss mobility or miss doing like core, like you
yep.
get like this, like it doesn't matter if it's 9 o'clock at night, I will get down on the bedroom floor and start busting out some core. Like I just, there's like a feeling like it's for myself and even for like you guys, I'm like, I feel guilty. Like, why did I not do it? Like I need to do it right now.
Yeah, it's a guilt thing and it's like a satisfaction, like lack of satisfaction thing. It's like I don't feel satisfied with my day. There are some times where I'll wake up the next morning and be like, "Oh my God, I forgot to do mobility last night." And I feel terrible about myself. And it's like, shoot, and then I'll get on the floor and do it immediately when I wake up. And, is that the healthiest of mindsets? Yes, it is, I think, actually, because because we're holding ourselves accountable. Yeah, we want to. I think the three people in this call right now, we just want to be the absolute best versions of ourselves that we can be, and we know how to get there. And when you know how to get there, there's a big difference between wanting to be great and knowing how to be great, between wanting to be great and just saying that you want to be great. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something a lot of young people struggle with, where they'll be like, I want to be this, this, and this. All right, well, how? You know, and when I was big into baseball, I was like, I'm gonna be the second baseman shortstop for the Yankees and be better than Derek Jeter. And then I'd like go and take batting practice twice a week, maybe if that. And it's like that's not how you're gonna do it, you know?
The actions always speak louder than the words. 100%. I can say right now, I want to be SUNYAC champion, but I need to be out there every day, busting my rear to make that happen. If
Exactly.
you go and say, "This is what I want to do," like you have all these end of the season aspirations, but you don't do the little things day by day to get there, you'll be there and you're like, "Holy shoot! Like, how did I get here? I didn't do like what I needed to be prepared."
Yeah, and like, why do it if you're not 100% in? I think I was
Yeah.
talking to Matt Hayden about this, and I was like, we were on a run or doing something, and he was like, why am I doing this if I'm not 100% in? Like, I'm catching myself slacking, but I'm still doing the runs. I'm like 85% there. And then why are you doing it? You know, if you want to be truly, you know, on your game, got to be 100% all in.
I 100% agree with
Because
that. I
if
was
you're
that way in high school. Like I felt that like in high school, like I wanted to do other clubs. I wanted to do ROTC and like my parents always emphasized to me, they're like, you need to focus on one thing. Like be good at one thing, take your time and put it into one thing. Like if you're spreading yourself thin, you're not doing you can't do everything at 100%. Like that's just not how the world works. So for me, it was just really key. Like even like more practice, like I'm not gonna go to practice and be like slouched over and doing it like 50% because then why am I taking the time out of my day to do it? Like you need to be committed in doing what you're doing.
and then it's like for the people who aren't fully in and they're only this percentage in, they don't really have the right to be mad after a race because you know you didn't give yourself the best chance. You know? I get sick and tired of people, coming off the line of a race and being like, how did that happen? You know what happened. You know that you didn't run these weeks over the summer. You know that you didn't do any strides. Like you got to be all in. I think it's a great point that we're making.
Yeah, and then you're almost disrespecting yourself. Like you're giving that lie to yourself. Oh, why didn't I run a PR? You know, why didn't I run 5 seconds faster? Whatever it is. Well, again, you didn't do what you said you would at the start of the summer. So
That's exactly right. Noah, do you have many more questions, or can we maybe speed round soon?
not really. I think we can speed her up.
All right, Gabe, you ready to go fast? That's what you like to do.
I'm ready to go fast.
All right, Noah's
But
gonna
I thought,
start.
wait, but I thought it was the cooldown, so I'm confused.
Yeah, yeah, but like it's a speedy cooldown. It's one of those cooldowns where the workout wasn't very hard, so you kind of sprint it a little bit. Like
Okay,
it's like a
okay,
7 minute pace cooldown.
okay. Good enough. Good enough.
Alrighty, 7 minute pace cool down after slamming a workout. Um, First question, Mario Kart Wii. What's your go-to character?
Shy guy, 100%. Always been a shy guy kind of guy.
I just lost a Shy Guy today. One of my friends was playing Shy Guy. Shout him out right now. He's not listening to this. His name's Tyler. Um, I beat him one time. He beat me the other time. We were doing some cups, little Rainbow Road. I beat him on Rainbow Road, but I didn't win the battle. So
Mm.
Because you didn't pick shy guy.
yeah, I was who was I? I was Pink Yoshi. So
Interesting.
Great speed round, guys. Olympic trials are going down. Olympic trials are going down right now. As a spectator, only purely as a spectator, favorite event to watch in track.
Um, Honestly, I've always really enjoyed watching steeplechase. I like at least when it comes to like watching trials or like collegiate races, I think the steeplechase is such a cool race to watch. Um, I also just have a great appreciation for any of the like short relays like 4x4. I think it's just so incredible to watch people go that fast.
Cool. Noah, next.
can I answer your question though?
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
1500, no doubt.
It's not even a debate, in my opinion. You're right. Yeah, I think it's a 1500.
Um, what's your favorite aesthetically pleasing plant?
Mm. And it's gonna be a wild take, but I bought it for my mom for last Mother's Day. I love me a good little cactus, like
I
not a
knew
big
you were gonna
cactus,
say
like a
that.
little.
Hey,
I knew you were
okay.
gonna say that. I was
I
looking
messed
at
with that.
Noah's thing. I was looking behind Noah, and yeah.
I
He's
didn't
got a
see
little
that,
hat
but
on.
I love like little cacti. Like I got my mom like a little cacti and it had a little like flower on the top. It was so cute.
For those
What
listening,
color was the flower?
audio only, Noah has a
Yellow.
cactus behind him for
It's not
reference.
real. It's
It is
fake.
not a real cactus. No.
See if I can get it.
All right, Gabe.
Wait, hold on. The top comes off, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna give an audio description for the audio. Noah has a what is that? Like
It's a
what kind of
hat.
material? What kind of material? Why can I not think of the material? That
Ceramic.
ceramic cactus with a cowboy hat on top that has pens in it.
Pens and
That-
bowling tickets.
oh my goodness. This is the craziest episode we've
The
ever
lore is
released.
crazy.
My God, cactus Noah Pickard. Actually, this is your brother's room. Jack Pickard lore. Holy crap. Gabe, I saw Inside Out 2 today, and it is my new favorite Pixar movie. What's your favorite Pixar
Shut
movie?
up.
That's insane. Cars,
That's
and it's not
crazy.
close. OG
Yes.
Cars.
Cars
Like
1, baby. Yes, sir.
literally, when I was a kid, my dad used to pick me up from pre-K, and I mean, every single day I watched Cars in his office at work. So for me, like, it makes sense that somehow I ended up running in a circle for a collegiate sport. So
Look, Cars, great film. Am I the only one who gets like emotionally incredibly affected by Inside Out? Is that just me? It hits me hard. Like it hits me hard. And this new movie really does it. Really does it,
Yeah,
Chief.
next question.
Oh my God. Goodness.
I didn't even have a question. I had it in my head and then I forgot it. Um, Jeez. What's your favorite fun drink? Like if
what does
you're
that
just
mean?
like, I just want like a little sweetness, little sweet drink. What's your go-to sweet drink?
Um, lately it's been 7-Eleven sweet tea, but like the low calorie, like the low sugar one, or any like Pepsi or Coke product, but it has to be diet or zero sugar.
You can't sit here and tell me Inside Out isn't a magical film experience. Like it just
I've never seen
Gabe,
it.
Gabe, if you could learn in one You've never seen it? It's the first thing we're gonna do when we get back to school this year. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Can
Oh
I
my
come over and watch it?
yes. Everyone's
'Cause
invited.
I've never seen either one.
Jesus Christ, guys. It's my favorite Pixar film. The whole team's invited to whatever like what are we in? McDuff?
McDuff 4 something.
McDuff for something to watch Inside Out. Like, please, it's amazing. Anyway, Gabe, if you could learn any new instrument right now, what would you learn?
Ooh, probably the guitar. I feel like it's just no, that's a totally lie. I'd learn the piano. I
Mhm.
100% want to learn the piano. I think there's something so cool like about somebody that can just sit down and like play something so beautifully sounding on the piano.
I agree.
What song would you play? Like, what's the first one?
I don't know. That's a great question. I It's gonna sound crazy. I low key love when artists do like a concert or a show and the song they're playing on piano is not traditionally a piano song. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Like when I go to like a live concert and they play a song that's not normally done on piano and it is, I think there's just something about that sound. It's like it brings more emotion out.
I was gonna say, if I'm allowed to answer this question, because I would probably choose the piano or guitar, but I choose the piano probably because there is this one version of this 121 Pilot song called Smithereens that when Tyler plays it on the piano, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm full of spicy hot takes, I know. Look up Smithereens reconstruct version. You'll melt. Gabe, shoot, should I do the Taylor Swift one? Should I end it right here?
Wait.
Nah.
I didn't get to answer Noah's famous question.
Yeah,
I'm
well, okay,
heartbroken.
so I'll do one,
Okay.
Noah do one, and then
I have two questions. This
okay.
one's actually answer fast. Sport other than running, if you were to go to college for that, what would you choose?
Baseball.
Good choice.
Like, what position?
Probably outfield. I like going fast.
Okay. I
Um,
got stuck in right field because I wasn't very good.
right
I usually play
fielder.
center, but it's
Nice.
because the running thing.
Speaking of
Okay.
baseball, can the Mets keep this up? Is this sustainable?
No, I'm a Mets fan. We're done. We're cooked. We just lost the Astros. We're done.
Do the Yankees suck now?
Well, they've been on
I heard a rumor.
it's been a rough couple it's been a rough week and a half, but this team has some real issues that they need to address at the trade deadline. This is not a Yankees podcast. I could go for hours on the subject. Let's move on.
All right. Famous question. What animal are you absolutely body slamming in a fight? UFC 303 was the other night,
Yeah.
I think.
I
It
every
was.
time I've listened to the pod, I've thought about my answer to this question. I was thinking about it today at work. I've been thinking about it on runs. I think about this question a lot, and I don't know if I can take it, but I'm gonna say I can because one, it's one of my favorite animals. Two, because why not? I think I'm squaring up with a panda, and here let me explain why. You ever seen like them be okay? You ever seen that like the zoo and they like flop over? They're moving really lethargically. Like they'll literally like tumble and just like oops. I think given a chance, maybe not like a huge panda, but like an average sized panda, I think it's 50-50 shot. And I'm gonna try to
What
body
about
slam it. Like I think I'm gonna hip toss it like Noah said.
Poe from Kung Fu Panda?
No
Oh, Poe's
shot.
taking me out.
Yeah.
Jack
Okay.
Black's taking me out. I'm done.
Okay.
Gabe, I
Dude,
don't know
I
that
think that's the best answer we've gotten. Because
I
I'm thinking in my head now, he might like a mid-sized panda.
You ever
Like
seen like on like YouTube
this
like the
this
pandas in
panda.
their display and they like roll and like
maybe I have a different perception of how big pandas are. I don't know that you're doing any damage to it. Like I don't know that it'll hurt you, but like I don't know that you can actually do any damage.
but I
I
just
think
gotta
like an
survive.
adolescent panda.
Yes, I think you can take an adolescent
I
panda.
feel like okay. I'm sorry to like keep on yapping, but is this question? Can we pick the age of the animal, or is that unfair? Does it
I
have to
think
be an
they just have
adult?
to. They gotta specify like size,
Because I
because that's
think
the whole
for
point.
me, if I've been thinking, I think like an adolescent deer, but a female deer with no horns.
I I don't know if you should sell yourself short. I think you're a female deer with no horns. I think you might be able to take a fully grown one. They don't do much. What are they gonna
Yo,
do? Like
low key. So a deer ran in front of me the other day, like 5 feet in front of me, almost took me out. If I had to, could a kangaroo kicked it in the jaw? I don't know.
I had a really scary moment on my run the other day. I had a skunk on my trail. And that was horrifyingly scary. I did not want to get sprayed.
dude, you should have kangarooed that freaking deer. Like,
I was thinking about it. I was in the air.
I don't know that deers are that comfortable that near me, I think.
He just ran out
Dang.
of the woods.
Go for it next
Because
time.
we have
That's a
because we have trees over here.
I can guarantee. Shut up! Oh my god! You see my photos on Strava?
You
Sure,
know,
bud.
fun fact, on Long Island, downstate, not upstate, we also have trees. I know
Really,
upstate,
there's trees in
you
Riverhead. I
guys,
was gonna ask that.
you guys
Wow.
being upstate, Lucas being from West
No
Nyack,
one in this call is from upstate. You have a Long Island, which is its own separate stupid entity, a downstate person, and a western person. If anyone is upstate, it would be the guy from the northern Let's do the Taylor Swift question,
Hold
please.
on. I want to rip you more.
Okay.
I saw some cows on my run today, and I thought of you. I'm like, has this dude ever seen a cow before?
me?
No,
Oh,
Lucas.
okay.
Oh, yes.
Is there cows
Driving
around?
to
Or
when I drive to disc golf, we see a bunch of horses at a
okay,
at a
but
thing.
like on
I
your run,
know
like you don't
horses
see
are not
cows.
cows. No, no, I'm not gonna go on a run and I'll see a cow, but like I can drive like 30 minutes within me, 45 to an hour within me and
I could
see
drive 5 minutes down the road and see a cow. I'm a
Dude,
long
you're an hour radius away from a cow?
me.
Yeah,
Is that too close or too far?
that's crazy far.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, well, you're not really gonna find a cow in Rockland County. Not in my county, I don't think. And not in northern Jersey either. And not really in Westchester. You're gonna have to go to like Orange County or like by Shane territory to find a cow. Once you cross Harriman State Park, which is like 30 minutes from me, then you're kind of like almost upstate. I'm not upstate though, just to make that clear. No, I won't see cows, but I will see horses from time to time.
I saw some alpacas the other day, and
Yeah, I'll
I'm like,
never.
is
That's
this
crazy.
like an alternate universe that alpacas are in Batavia? I have no idea.
Yeah, to be
Oh,
honest,
okay, let's
didn't
end
even
this thing.
I didn't even know alpacas existed
brains off the
outside like
tracks.
Africa or something. What even are alpacas? Okay, Gabe
They're
is
big vicuñas.
yeah, Gabe is Taylor Swift Properly rated or not. That's not usually how I say it. Whatever.
So you asked me this when I first started listening to the podcast, season 1. I would have been on your side, Lucas. I really would have. And I will say in the last 2 months, I've listened to a lot more Taylor Swift than I ever planned to. And she's even in my playlist now. So
Oh
I will
no.
say she deserves I would say she deserves the praise. Do I think sometimes her fan base is a little intense? Yes. But any fan base has its stands or
That
its
is true.
intensity.
That is true.
So I think she does deserve the praise. I think that she is directed towards a certain crowd, and I think that her music is very catchy.
Mhm.
And while I don't have a bazillion songs in my playlist, I do have some Taylor Swift now. So I'll have to say that she's not overrated, and I think she is about properly rated.
You
Is
know what?
Shake It Off your favorite?
No,
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite?
You Are in Love.
You know
I'd
what?
make you sing it, but I don't know if you
You know
want to do
what?
that.
I don't want to do that, but thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate the
Next
offer.
time.
You know what? My answer to that answer. Okay. Okay. Sounds good, bro. Not even like a quick sounds good, bro, but like a normal speed sounds good, bro. Okay?
Okay, bro. Sounds good.
Sounds good, bro. We're just kind of rambling now, so I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up. Gabe, thank you very much for joining us. We haven't done this in a while. Anything you want to say to us?
Um, Continue to be confident and keep up the good work. I'm really proud to see the work you two are putting in this summer. And I was telling somebody recently that I'm really proud of you, Lucas, and seeing how far you came in your first year at Oneana, seeing the confidence you're carrying yourself with. So keep that up. I think one of the keys to running is just being mentally strong and being confident in yourself and your ability. Like me, even though I was banged up going into SUNY this spring, like I just kept my confidence high, and I think that can make a world of a difference. Just being confident in yourself and your ability, and just telling yourself in that positive headspace, I can do it. And I saw you really embrace that, and I'm really proud of you. And even Noah, like just keep doing that. Be confident on your college journey and in your running, and I think you both will be very successful.
Well, thank you so much, man. That means a lot. Um, I'm very looking forward to this season, man. I think we're all gonna have insane seasons. It's gonna be great.
I agree. Thank you very much for it took us a while to get this recorded, but I'm glad we did. It was fun.
Check back on this podcast when all three of us go sub 25 this year. It'll be a different story.
That would be great.
At
That'd be
Nationals.
Great.
fabulous.
At Nationals.
Let's do it.
We're gonna do it. If not this year, at some point. It's gonna
Or whole
happen.
top 7.
The whole team, man. The whole team. All right, that's gonna
14
do
guys
it.
at SUNY X.
That's gonna do it. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I think this was a great one, especially towards the end. We kind of had some funny convos. So stay tuned, specifically next week for Chris Shimkus, and we will see you later. Wait, I think I
Yeah.
have to. I think I have to end on that. We'll see
Hold
you
on,
next
hold
time.
on, hold on,
Oh,
hold
oh,
on.
go. Yep.
If you made it this far, drop in the comment section below on YouTube. Say what do we want them to say?
Something about
Look,
alpaca.
say name your favorite colored alpaca. Do that.
I can't even name a colored alpaca.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Let us know you listened this far. I don't even know. We're probably like almost an hour in. But
Yep.
thanks for watching.
Scream alpacas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for Christian.